Good evening and welcome back to Be Rich. The whole international market is now talking of a euro dollar parity. An euro dollar parity has never happened in a long time. In fact, maybe not ever since the euro made its debut 23 years ago. At the beginning of the year, 1.2 euro was a dollar and the euro was much stronger. But over the last 6 months, what has happened is this gap has closed down and the euro dollar parity has almost is reality. If not today night, it will be tomorrow. What has happened is that the Europe has been caught napping. Europe never believed that inflation could never come to it. That is, there were two parts of Europe. There was Central Europe, which was basically France and Germany, and then the Mediterraneans, that is, Italians and the Greeks, and the Spanish in between. All these countries had different inflation rates. Greece, Italy, and Spain generally have higher inflation than Germany and France. It was the belief that their interest rates could be negative forever. For example, the Bunds, the German bond rate was negative for several years. The belief is that they were so running such a tight policy that inflation would never come. But there was a fatal flaw that was there from Angela Merkel's days and even can go back to Helmut Kohl after the end of the Cold War. With a weakened Russia, Germany and France and rest of Europe became extremely dependent upon fuel from Russia. Russia was awash with petrol and gas, and Germany and France wanted this gas so that they could do de-risk themselves and claim to be clean green energy. And finally, France wanted to get rid of its dependence on nuclear energy. And therefore, they kept signing deal after deal with Russia and Gazprom to supply them gas and crude. As long as Vladimir Putin did not bite and kept threatening others, it didn't matter. And they had a cozy relationship. In fact, Angela Merkel had a close relationship with Putin in spite of one time being threatened with his Alsatian dogs. The whole idea was that the Russians would be wooed over. In fact, when Russia annexed Crimea and invaded parts of Ukraine and flexed its muscles with other small countries like Georgia, the Western world looked the other way. They condoned it, and like the West kept quiet when Hitler occupied Poland, and it was called the phony war. These guys did not even declare war on Putin and acted as if it was the new normal, and one day Putin would just disappear. And Putin was not about to disappear because Ukraine, which was the closest to Russia, had indeed become a liberal democracy. Under Zelensky, it had emerged as a liberal country which had aspirations to join the European Union. Had it joined the European Union and the NATO, then NATO would be at the doors of Russia, threatening Russia's security. And with Latvia and Estonia already becoming European Union members and signing the NATO agreement, Ukraine falling into hands of Europeans was too much for Putin to stomach. And then Putin fancies himself as Peter the Tsar. He sees himself rather as a ruler than as a president. In fact, his allies in Kremlin have said Putin prefers to be called a ruler. Your ruler does not brook any dissent and believes it's his divine right to rule. And he is basically saying he's taking back what was originally Russia's. So it is not going to end with Ukraine. If the West surrenders Ukraine, as I argued before, there's a landmass in the Baltic Ocean which belongs to Sweden, which was demilitarized till the invasion of Ukraine. That is a floating air base right in the middle of the Baltic Ocean. It is expected that if they have dreams of capturing Latvia and Estonia, the Soviets would launch take an attack on the Swedish island and take it over. Today, Sweden is frantically arming that island and is desperately trying to join NATO, which it has shunned for so long. Why am I telling you all this? The warning signs from Putin was very clear, and the Ukraine and Russia conflict pushed Europe into the horns of moral dilemma where they could not be seen consuming Russian gas and oil while the rest of the world was supporting Ukraine. These sanctions have hit hard and very hard in the sense while it might have denied Russia access to its reserves and give them a short term pain by denying them gas and crude sales. The real pain is for the Europeans because gas and energy prices have surged, especially during winter and now towards the coming summer where driving season is about to start. If this conflict continues, as Putin threatens this invasion will continue because he says it has just begun, then you can look at a deep winter of very high gas prices and high energy prices. This has pushed inflation in the Eurozone to 8.6%. Nobody expected Europe to have 8.6% inflation, let alone the European Union finance minister and the Central Bank of Europe. Therefore, it was very imperative they stop buying quantitative easing and, in fact, start quantitative tightening and increase interest rates. The fact is that Jerome Powell saw the signs coming much before the European Union because he had enormous pressure from the right wingers in America. He has already tightened with a 0.25, zero point 0.5, and a 0.75 increase and left the Europeans far behind. And short term interest rates in America are far higher than what is in Europe. Therefore, one is seeing a continuous flight of capital from the European centers of finance to New York. This has led to the rapid depreciation of the euro. The euro is almost at parity with the dollar. This makes for very tough situation because Europe is being forced to import most of its services requirement as well as products. Because Europe is an aging society, it requires more labor and more employees. So it has to pay more for all of it. Looks like this war will have an unintended consequence where America gets to dominate the world for another 50 years. Let us wait and watch. Thank you for watching. Be rich. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified every time we put out a video. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.